Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will explain about what I have to resume. The title is English Words, and the author is Francisca Tamba. I will explain from chapter 1, page 1 to chapter 1, page 5. Uh, 1, 1.1 Why study words? Imagine a life without words. Trappists, monks opt for it, but most of us would not give up words for anything. Every day, uh, we utter thousands and thousands of words, communicating our joys, fears, opinions, fantasies, wishes, requests, demands, feelings, and the occasional threat or insult is very important aspect of being human. The air is always thick with our verbal emissions. There are so many things we want to tell the world. Some of them are important, some of them are not. But we talk anyway, even when we know that what we are saying is totally unimportant. We love chit chat or find silent encounters awkward or even oppressive. A life without words would be a horrendous privation. We should not take words for granted, they are too important. This book is intended to make explicit some of the things that we know subconsciously about words. It is a linguistic introduction to the nature and structure of English words. It addresses the question, what sorts of the things do people need to know about English words in order to use them in speech? It is intended to increase the degrees of sophistication with which you think about words. It is designed to give you a theoretical grasp or English word formation, the sources of English vocabulary, and the way in which we store and retrieve words from the mind. For the student of language, words are very rewarding object of study. An understanding of the nature of words provides us with a key that opens the door to an understanding of important aspects of the nature of language in general. Words give us a panoramic view of the entire field of linguistics because they impinge on every aspect of language structure. This book stresses the ramifications of the fact that words are complex and multifaceted entities whose structure and use interact with the other model of the grammar, such as phonology, uh, the study of how sounds are used to represent words in speech, syntax, the study of sentence and structure, and semantics, the study of meaning in language. But words tend to not wear their meaning of their sleeve. Normally, there is nothing about the form of the words that would enable anyone to work out their meaning. Thus, the fact that frog rivers one of these simply has to be listed in the lexicon and committed to memory by brute force. For the relationship between a linguistic sign like this word and its meaning is ab- arbitrary. Arbitrary. Other languages use different words to refer to this small tailless amphibian. In French, it's called grenouille. In Malay, they call it katak, and in Swahili, chura. None of, none of these words is more suited than the others to the job of referring to this small reptile. And of course, within a particular language, any particular pronunciation can be associated with any meaning. so long as a speakers accept that sound meaning association. They have a kosher word for in instance. Uh, Convenience originally meant suitably or commodiousness, but in the middle of the 19th century, a new meaning of toilet was assigned and people began to talk of a public convenience. In the early 1960s, the word acquires the additional new meaning of easy to use, designed for hassle-free use as in convenience food. The study of word formation and word structure is called morphology. Morphological theory provides a general theory of word structure in a language of the world. Its task is to characterize the kinds of things that, that speakers need to know about the structure of the words of their language in order to be able to use them to produce and to understand speech. We will see that in order to use language, speakers need to have two types of morphological knowledge. First, they need to be able to analyze existing words, e.g., they must be able to tell that frogs contain frogs plus s for plural. Usually, if we know the meanings of the elements of that word contains, it is possible to determine meaning of the entire word once we have worked out how the various elements relate to each other. Second, speakers need to be able to work out the meanings of novel words constructed using the word building elements and standard word construction rules of the language. Probably we all know and use more words than are listed in dictionaries. We can construct and analyze the structure and meaning of old words as well as new ones. So, although many words must be listed in the dictionary and memorized, listing every word in the dictionary it is not necessary. And then is 1.2. At the very outset, we need to establish the nature of the subject we are going to be examining. So chapter 2 discusses the nature of words. The next three chapters delves deep inside words and investigate their internal structure. In the process, traditional morphological concepts of structural linguistics are introduced and extensively exemplified. Morphology is not an standalone module. After the introductory chapters, in chapter 6, you are introduced to a theory where morphology is an integral part of the lexicon or dictionary. This chapter focuses on the interaction of phonology and morphology in word formation. Chapter 7 explores the relationship between words in speech and in writing. Okay, maybe that's all from my resume. Uh, Thank you for watching and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.